Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well and having a fantastic day. So today we are going to look at my sewing room. So welcome to my sewing space. I know you see it every week, but you never really see a full room, isn't it? You just see little snippets of where I'm actually standing in front of the camera. But today is the day. Alright, so for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Really lovely to have you here. And for those of you who are always supporting me, really always supporting me, I thank you. Now, okay, how should I start this? I have thought so many ways of how to actually do this, but I just thought I would just hold the camera and take you around. And I'm going to show you more or less two rooms. The sewing space, of course, and where I actually store all of my quilts, because my sewing space is very much, I don't want to say basic, but in the way it is, I just keep it to all the things that I want. I don't have any extra bits in there that's taking up room. I'm just utilize the space as much as I possibly can. So I'm going to share with you how I actually do that. Now, if there's something you're really interested in on my channel, please help me to support the channel by obviously just simply subscribing if you're new here and you haven't subscribed as yet, and share the video around for those of you who are always supporting me. All right, so behind me you can actually see a quilt, but before I do that, I'm literally standing in the front of my door. So I'm just going to spin the camera around so you can see. So that is literally my entrance there. So once you come into my home, you're literally going to be standing in front of this quilt. Now this is a Christmas quilt, and it's been here and I love it. I am not going to take it down. It's so beautiful. I don't think I'm going to move in. So it's actually, if you want to see the making of this, it's actually on my channel and I will do a link for you. But I absolutely love this quilt. Absolutely love this quilt. It just seems so inviting because that's the first thing you see when you enter the house. Absolutely gorgeous. Now my sewing room is literally to the left here as you come into the house, and this is what it actually looks like. So this is the room. I have a really big beautiful window right at the front, so it's usually up, gives me lots of natural light. Obviously all my camera equipment and stuff is just stored right at the windows. The blinds actually come down if I feel I need a bit more privacy. This is the area where I actually do all the editing, so that usually stays right there. And obviously this is where I actually sew. You see my brother there is looking cool. This table I got from Office Space. Beautiful big table, absolutely love it. I use a bench for my to sit down and actually sew, and it actually has room inside for storage. I used to store on it, but I haven't done so for a while, to be honest. And it just tucks underneath there, out the way. All right, so I love that table. It's really nice and supportive. It's big. I actually watch a little bit of telly on there. Also, I keep a yard ruler just hang there in case I need one. And I do have a little bit of decorative features on. These are all just decorative things that I've actually just practiced quilting on, just to get my quilting all nice and confident. As you can see, there's some wobbly lines with this one here. This is another piece that I've actually practiced on, and I love this, really do love that. I was very proud of that. That's one of my first I did, and I was really proud of it. This is another one that I actually practice with. I'd have to tell the design, you actually know. I have a little sign that reminds me to be creative all the time. So I keep things on the wall, so like things like this right here, and my little scissors and little snippets and stuff, so that I can cut threads as I'm sitting down and sewing, and a little mat if I need to trim anything, and my little pin there, and water obviously if I feel thirsty. On this side here, it's a little purse, and I just keep my Crazy 8's ruler inside there. Another thing that I actually use just to practice my quilting on, this is part of the block for butterfly garden, and I actually used this just to literally practice my quilting so that I knew what I was actually doing for that butterfly gardens quilt. But that's literally a block there. Okay, so that's that side. If I turn around, you're obviously going to see outside, and again, it's a really nice view, especially on a beautiful summer's day. It's a bit overcast today, but in this corner here, I've got the light on. So in this corner here, I usually keep sort of scrappy bits and bobs, little tools and stuff that I actually need. And these here, they're little scrap fabrics. Things in here is just like, I don't know, nothing really important. Really, the things that I've stored in here is what I actually use for if I'm making bags. So these are also my bag making tools on this shelf up there. On the other shelf, I keep all of my threads down there as well, my quilting spray. This one, I asked my husband was to buy me some quilting spray, and he came back with this. So I'm not sure about that. I think I'll have to go get the proper ones, but yeah, not sure about that. And he actually bought me two. So I was like, what is this? When he came back with it. So, but yeah, I haven't really tried it as yet, but this scissors, I absolutely love it, but I'm also afraid of it because it's so beautiful and sharp, but I love it. But I keep all my threads here. Underneath here, it's not the very neatest and tidy. I haven't really tidied up for you, just literally how the room is normally. And these are just sewing boxes that I keep. When I came to Australia, a lot of my sewing tools was transported inside here. So there is still a lot of bits and bobs inside here still, cleaning things that I use, threads as well. There's lots of threads around everywhere. Underneath here is just sewing machines. That's in the boxes really, in the iron box there, but you're just sewing machines in there, to be honest. But yeah, this shelf is a really lovely shelf, nice and big. It was bought at the I want to say do it yourselves. You know, there's places where you go to get things that you can build at home. So yeah, that's where I actually picked this up. At the top shelf, I just store my camera equipment. On here is just my my wall that I use to just work out what sort of pattern I want. So my display wall really. And obviously on this side here, a little bit of culture in terms of the Aboriginals, and I do love these. They're beautiful, absolutely love them. And this is a little note from my students from the UK. Really beautiful. It means so much to me. I always leave it there and look at it. And this was a gift from school as well that they actually gave to me. Really love that because obviously I sew, and I'm also a chef by trade. I was also a catering teacher as well as a textiles teacher. They put an apron with a spoon and a needle in the middle there, and a little sewing machine. I just absolutely love it. Really beautiful. Yeah, this is another piece underneath there as well that I use for just practicing my quilting. Again, guys, if you really want to get that quilting going, just really practice. So that's it for that side of the room, and if I go out this way, you will see that's the door there again. So I'm going to shut that. So behind the wall, a map of Australia, and again another practicing piece. This is one of the things I actually taught my students to make. It was a Christmas mat, and they wanted to do a Christmas activity, and so this was very basic. They wanted to try something. They wanted to try quilting because they knew I had a channel, and so they were really interested. So I taught them how to make this. I actually got a letter from letter to the school from one of the parents who was so happy that her daughter was learning that. So coming now to my center table here. So big nice mat on it, little mats here as well, and my area where I actually do a little bit of ironing. This is where I actually stand and quilt. So this is my quilter's choice that I actually use. Love this machine. So this actually lives here. If I need more space or I need to use the table at its fullest, it goes on the shelf underneath there. Again, my husband actually built up this shelf for me. This is actually this one here, but the bigger size. So what he did, in fact it was my idea, I said to him, just buy me the large one and put it together. So that's what we did. So this is 2 shelves put together as a table, and it works out really, really lovely, nice and sturdy as well. At the bottom I just store all of my scraps, as you can see there. So literally these are my scraps underneath there. These in this bag here is just again bag materials, and this is just all extra batting, wadding, etc. that's in this bag here. But that's where I keep it, to be honest. I like just keeping it like that. I don't want to put it away, because then, and I'm referring to my scraps, because I'm going to forget about them. So I always keep them out so I can just, you know, make a scrap quilt at the moment. Okay, but that's what I usually do with my scraps here. They stay in the open so that I remember to use them. My rulers, I keep them there. Oh, I'll show you again. For I hang my ruler here. So this one, these 2 are the ones I use a lot, so I hang them right close to the table. So it's literally just to turn around and reach for them there. Sometimes I put the hook, which is what I love again about this, is just putting the hook right there, and it's nice and easy right there to pick up. Okay, now move over to the other shelf in the corner. So this one I keep a lot of my materials on. As you can see, it is not very tidy. These are obviously, you know, materials that haven't been used. There's lots of fat quarters at the back there that probably needs tidying up. 1 jelly roll left, lots of yardage, sorry. Underneath here is where I usually keep quilts that needs quilting. So that's 1, 2, I have 3 quilts that needs quilting. More yardage as well, or sometimes it's fabric that I've cut into and just have probably half a yard left or something. I'll usually stack them there. In this particular box, this is where I keep scraps, but it is scraps that's also like I've cut it down into something, or I've made a little block of it, so I've made like a spare block or something. So that's what I keep in this box here. So it really is a mixture of anything. There's lots of Christmas prints in there as well, as you can see, square in a squares. So these are all just spare blocks, or sometimes if I just feel like doing a little bit of free sewing, I just sit there and make some blocks out of the scraps, and so I keep them in this box here. So I think at the moment I do have enough to make a proper scrappy quilt. In this box here again is just yardage. Some of them I have not actually even touched as yet. These are the yardage that I actually use. So if I'm making a tablecloth, a table runner or something, I would use these for the backing. Underneath here, again, more yardage. This is actually a quilt that is still unfinished. And again, more yardage as well in this box as well. This is a fabric selection that I have, a sample fabric selection. I'll actually bring it up and show it to you. It's really lovely, and I intend to use it at some point, but it's by Sanderson, a British company, and they're very good. The quality is very, very good. So it's a different selection of, some is cotton, some is it's just samples of what they actually have. Very, very beautiful. So I do intend to take them out and use it in a quilt. I am going to use it as big as it is and make a really huge quilt. And what they do is actually show you how the fabric can be used. So really, really lovely. Absolutely lovely. So yeah, so that's literally it for this pack here. I'm just trying to see the fabric rather than the pictures. This one's really nice. But love it. Look at this one here. So I have used one before and it did come out really well. A lot of the fabric is cotton. So yeah, that works out really well for me also. But yeah, so it's just a sample that they give you so that you can buy their selection, and they just give you ideas of how you can use their fabric. Very expensive company when it comes to fabrics. Very good quality also. But yeah, I actually brought that with me from the UK, and I haven't opened it just yet. So on this wall here, I tend to just use little pins and put everything in the wall. I think it's easier. I don't have to worry about spending money to buy a shelf to go on the walls, because I did the room myself. I didn't really depend on Carl to help me. I did the room myself. So this is what I did. I mean, the shelving and stuff he put up, the tables he put up, but I actually did all of these madness on my own. So again, so they're quite close to the center table, right? Because the center table is right here, so they're quite close. So if I need it, I can just actually reach for it. I keep my rulers in here as well. I actually make this apron. It's so crazy. This apron I made when I used to be teaching, because I had so many students in my class. They used to be calling me all the time. So what I did was to take things over. So I had like needles, pins, thread, my screwdriver, because sometimes, you know, there's something going wrong with the machine. So this used to be my apron on. So I was like a tool lady with my apron and all my tools in it. So saving me having to go back to my drawers, etc. But for now, they keep my rulers in them. Lovely, really nice. Really nice. So no issues at all storing them there. They stay in there. The scissors, everything stays in there. I have lots more scissors, but to be honest, I don't need everything on display, do I? I just have the ones that I need on display quite easily. All right, another ring light, another area where I store more rulers as well, just on the side there. Any books and stuff, I tend to keep them underneath there. To be honest, I only go into the books if I'm like thinking for a new block idea, then I'll go into it. Underneath here is where I actually store my batting and my iron, more papers underneath there as well. Okay, I keep my quilting gloves and stuff there, the small iron, because obviously the match is here. Now, when I'm piecing, I will piece right here, and then I will iron, because the small iron is. But when I have to iron the whole quilt top, then I actually go to my laundry room, which is where I iron my quilt top. I think it's much easier that way. I don't have to worry about actually, you know, finding space for my ironing board. So I don't even own an ironing board. I just use the laundry room, and I'll show you the laundry room as well, what actually it looks like. So this is a nice little pan of the room. So you can see it's a good sized room. Obviously only me uses it, so I don't need to share the space with anybody else. I tend to change the quilt on the wall so that it inspires me. This one is an absolutely scrappy one, and again I would link it for you as well. Beautiful quilt. Absolutely love it. I look at it and I think, oh my god, this is actually a scrappy quilt. It just shows you how your scraps can give you a free quilt, guys. Literally a free quilt. The only thing I don't necessarily like in this room is the lampshade up there. That's it, the light shade. I don't necessarily love it, but it's not biggie. At night it's nice because the light is not too sharp on the eyes. But yeah, that's the only thing I don't particularly like it. But this is my sewing space, guys. So what I'm going to do now is to take you to where I actually store my quilts. As you can see, there is not one quilt in here. The only one I have, in fact, is the one on the wall. And the reason why I do this, not just to show the quilts off and to inspire me, but I also like to do this because to me, I'm docking the quilt. And what that usually means is that I am straightening out the edges. So they're just pinned on the wall there. It's just pinned and the ball holds it nicely. And so it just straightens up the quilt. So if you have the space in your wall, you can actually do that. Just pin it so that it actually straightens really nicely. But this is my sewing space. I absolutely love it. So this is what I'm quilting here. I stand here and I have a nice little view to look out. Usually I get the birds coming and squeaking and making noises, etc. But yeah, absolutely love my space. The floor can get a little bit dusty with all of the batting and, you know, all the fabrics in the air, but it just means I have to be sweeping all the time. But hey, that's part of sewing and quilting, isn't it? All right, guys, so I'm going to take you now and show you my area where I actually do all of my, well, where I actually store my quilts. As you can see, I'm wearing my glasses because, believe it or not, I can't see anything. I can see it, but you know, it's the glasses makes it better. All right, so when I'm actually showing you the layout of the quilt, I'm usually in my dining area, and I use the floor to do it because there's a nice big space in front of the fridge, and I'll show it to you without the quilts being there so you can see it for yourself. So that's literally the space I use. It's got really nice lighting as well. So that's the space I actually use to show you the quilts, which works actually. Now on the wall, I tend also to, I have decorated the house using some of the quilts, and this is a table runner with leaves on it, so that stays there. And in the corner over here is another table runner that I've actually used, and it's slightly to the left, but you know what, I haven't moved it, so that's literally slightly to the left a little bit, but yeah, it is what it is. Another one that I tend to since I've made it and put it down and took pictures was this one here. So I think I called this the I can't remember, gosh, I can't remember, but I'll link again this video. I'll put all the videos at the end of this channel, so that of the end of the video, so you can see how to make them. But this is absolutely gorgeous. Again, this is scraps, guys. I absolutely love this as well. It's a sideboard runner, that's what I remember now. So and it's just using the width of my quilting ruler. Very lovely. All right, so let's go have a look now at that space. All right, guys, so this room is where I store everything. So these are my bags. I still think you're gonna see, because I just usually hang them. I use those hooks again to actually hang them over the door. To be honest, I only come into this room when I have to put a quilt in or take one out, to be honest. That's the only time. But yeah, this is what this room actually looks like. So you can see as I walk in, I'll give you a nice panorama first. Nice big window yet again. That's my husband's car outside there. And yeah, this is the room. That's my wedding dress, still hanged up in its case. But this is it. So as you come in the door, you would see the bags first of all. There, just hung on the wall like I did. As I said, I kept it quite simple. So this is the shelf that I actually have that I use for the middle in my sewing space. Yeah, so but it's actual, I keep it as a shelf here, so you can see all of the quilts here. Lots of pillows as well that I've actually made. Lots behind that you can't, I don't know, hopefully you can see them. But yeah, so these are all the quilts here. Absolutely gorgeous. Sometimes I come in and I just touch them. It's crazy, isn't it? And just look at it. At the bottom you will see more bags at the bottom down there. Yeah, I really have to try and start shifting them, to be honest. But yeah, this is where I store everything. Absolutely beautiful. A lot of them you would actually know because you've seen me make them. This quilt here is called Diamond Star. This was one of my first quilts that I actually made. It was the first quilt I've written a pattern for. I'll try and open it up for you so you can see. Absolutely beautiful quilt. Absolutely love it. Love the back also. It was a piece backing as well, and just loved it. Absolutely. So it got a big star in the middle. It was a layer cake. All right, let me just put it down and do it properly. Yeah, so this is the quilt. My very first quilt that I made a pattern for. Very first quilt. I love it so much, and I've never used it. As you can see, it's still got all the lines from where it's been folded. This one has a polyester batting in it, and as I said, I did a piece backing. It's interesting because I put the piece at the top rather than in the middle. But it still looks fine, you know. I don't know what made me thought about that, but rather than, usually you'll put the piece in the middle, isn't it? But I just simply just put it at the top. But I love this quilt, absolutely gorgeous. All right, so I'll put that one away for now. Let me show you the quilt. Where is it? It was one of the largest quilt. Oh, there it is. This one here, I can't remember the name of it. This one was one of the quilts that I quilted, and I had so much errors on it. Again, you can see, I'll get it out. Let me get it out, and then I will show it to you properly. All right, this is a very large quilt. I don't think I can even get it spread out here. But what I wanted to show you is the quilting on it. Now, it is so tiny, and there is lots of mistake where the fabric shifted. So you can see here, I tried unpicking it, but it didn't, and I was too afraid at the time. This is, I think, the second quilt I quilted. I was too afraid to sort it out, so I just put it away. I did finish the quilt, and I did upload the video, everything, but I never did share that particular area because to me it looked terrible. Looking at it now, it doesn't. It's a beautiful quilt, never been used yet again, as you can see at the back there where it pleated. But the whole point for showing this to you guys is so that, you know, you don't get put off by learning to quilt. And again, this is a polyester. I really need to probably start opening up a lot more of the quilts so that they get crease free. But yeah, so that's what this one looks like. It was literally just that area that I showed you. All these are just where it's been folded and it's just been creased. But the area I show you here, and how I know it's that area, because if you look closely, there is no quilting on it because I knew I unpicked to try and fix it. But I never really went back ahead and stitched it down. But look how tiny the loop-to-loops are. You see how small they are? So I literally had to unpick it, but still love the quilt, still love the colors. Absolutely gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. That's too big for me to fold on my own. So this sewing machine here is one that my mother-in-law absolutely gave to me. The sewing machine is underneath there. It's really, I'm sure most of you will know them. They're this old-fashioned one. It's a brother as well. It's actually been serviced. I serviced it before I shipped it over, and it works just well. No issues at all. This is a lovely little teddy bear that we have here. Again, more bags, and I just used this area as a little display to show the things off, really. Little purses, because I used to do craft stalls and stuff like that, and I do intend to get back into doing that so I can sell the products, but I haven't really had the time to set it all up again. This one you've seen, this is another quilt that I made when I just moved into this house, and it's a table quilt. Beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. And again, I tend to put the quilts on the wall so that all of the edges become nice and straight, because you know sometimes when you make a quilt it can get kind of loopy, so I try to avoid that, and that happens because if you stretch, to be honest, it doesn't really happen to me anymore. But I put them on the wall. A, I can look at it because I love it, and two, it just straightens it out really nicely. This is another Christmas quilt. I have never shown anybody. I have never shared this quilt. This was a Jordan Fabrics pattern that I use. And this is the first time I'm absolutely sharing it with somebody. Well, I'm sharing it with all of you, but absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, it is just, it's a very beautiful quilt. It's just that I've never really shared it with anybody. It was something I made for myself. And again, this was wall applique, and I was just practicing. You know, all this time I was just teaching myself to make quilts, and to do quilting basically. But it's a very beautiful Christmas fabric, and I usually just, this one again, I put it up at Christmas and it hasn't come down. So I love it. It's beautiful. It's a lovely size, and I always made it with the intention of it being a wall quilt. To be honest, it was never a quilt to go on a bed, so that was the whole idea of it. But it lives there. It literally does live there. But that's literally it, guys, for where I actually store everything. It's a lovely size room, and everything stays in here nice and dry, clean. I can come and look at the quilts. If someone, you know, orders one, it's easier just to come and pull it, pack it, etc. And yeah, so, you know, really, really lovely. Yeah, this is another one again I use for practicing. Look at the colors, guys. Look at the colors. You know, it's good looking back at the quilt so you can actually see what they look like. Oh my god, look at it. But again, and this is another one that's on YouTube. I think this is my very first video, definitely. But look at the colors again, never been used, but it was really just to get the confidence going with the quilting and, you know, launching the channel, etc. You know, but yeah, guys, and it's a nice picnic one. It's lovely and bright for the summer. You know, if somebody would like to have it, you're more than welcome to have it. Obviously, you just pay the postage, and I'll send it to you. But yes, it's lovely, nice and soft, lovely and soft. But yeah, there is and I just threw in the corner. There is another one that oh my god, I'm going to show you another one that is close to my heart. It is nothing special. Let me just say this. It is nothing special, but I absolutely, and I'm going to put myself I'll put myself in the shot for this one. This quilt, the colors are all wrong. The design is all wrong. It's amazing to look back and see how much I've grown. But you know what? I love it. The colors are just the colors are just wet. All right, I don't want to keep you in suspense anymore. I want to show it to you, but I love it. Why I love it? It just feels so soft. I think it's the softest quilt I've ever touched. It just feels so soft. All right, so don't laugh at me, okay? Don't laugh at me. But the colors are just all wrong. This is all my learning stage, but it's clicked in my brain now how to work the colors out. All right, let's have a look. Right, this one here, I'm going to go in close. This is the one here. Let me try and get it out with one hand. Okay, got it. Right, I am going to open it up and show you. It's a Christmas one, as I said, but I love it. Absolutely. As I said, it's every time I pick it up, and I was so brave. I actually used gold embroidery thread for this one, but let me show you the pattern. I cut all the squares into 10 inches, and I mean, the colors are just bright, but I love it. Let me know what you think. It is, I don't know where I was going with this thought process, but it's really nice. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you actually think of my quilt. But I love it. I don't know what it is. I just love this quilt. Let me show you the quilt. All I did was up and down lines over the entire quilt. That was it. And again, it was just practicing. All of these quilts that I showed you has really got me where I am in quilting today. You've got to start somewhere, haven't you? So yeah, look, I don't know what happened here, but I ended up with white thread there. I don't know how that happened. You know, I really don't know. But yeah, so what I think when it happened was I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to repeat it. And I did it there again. You can see if I go really close in. But I love it. On the back, is just yellow. Oh my gosh, I could just remember myself when I actually did this. But I just, yeah, I do like it. It's so soft. And again, I've never used it. So yeah, guys. So you've seen a little bit of, well, you've seen a lot actually, because I've never really shared any of this with anybody. You know, of where I store my quilts, my cushions, or as the Americans say, pillows. But yeah, I keep everything here. And the room is never really used, to be honest. It's just really for storage, as I said before. But this is my quilting storage area. So yeah, and each week a quilt is added, table runners is added as well to it. So it's kind of growing more and more. And trust me, I have given away. I gave away quite a lot before I came. So, and it's all building back up again. So help me to get rid of them, guys. If you know somebody that wants a quilt, hey, check out my website and buy it. I'll be happy to sell it, you know. Alright guys, so I think I've taken up a lot of your time. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Hit that notification bell, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Well, the show and tell of my space. And if it's something that you're into, please consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up. It was a little bit intimidating to show all of this because these are not things that I absolutely share. These are a little bit more private to me. So this is like letting you guys in a little bit more into my world. So yeah, but don't forget what I said. So that particular quilt, I think it's called a Corners quilt. Again, I think it was a Jordan Fabrics one. If you would like to have it, I'm happy to give it to you. Just got to pay the postage. Where I live in Australia, postage is quite high. All right. So yeah, that's it, guys. So bye for now. Happy quilting. Have a good one. And love you lots. See you in the next one.